So a little while ago, I put out calls for Q&A questions. I didn't answer them at the time because I had other video ideas that I wanted to do first, but I want to answer them now. As my last video for the year, I want this to be chatty, casual, and I want to go through all of your really good questions and answer them. It's the least that I can do. I really owe you guys a lot. And I'm really grateful for your support both this year and all the years before, and hopefully more years to come. And yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to say thanks. And this video is my thanks to you guys. So with that, I thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video, and let's get right into the questions. So I've sorted the questions into a couple of different categories. They're all done here, by the way, on my laptop. So if you're wondering why I'm looking down, that's why. I have business, art, YouTube, and sort of chatty life questions that we'll talk about at the end. But let's start with the business stuff. I know why you guys are here. Okay, so first question. Courtney Poston 1686 asks, what were your first steps into selling your art or becoming a full-time artist? What would you recommend to do or not to do if someone were to start today down a similar path? So I think I kind of stumbled into YouTube or something in a way. This was not how I was planning on becoming a full-time artist. I originally pursued the gallery route. I was doing abstract acrylic work at the time, and I had a couple of galleries representing me, but none of it was selling very well. And then the pandemic hit, and I did YouTube, and you know the rest of the story, hopefully. I talk about it a lot because I get a lot of questions about it, like this one. I think if you were to try and follow a similar path to do what I am currently doing, my first step for you, my first bit of advice would be to start making content, start making videos. I think this is a thing that you cannot overthink, at least not at first. If you overthink too much and you start to do too much planning, then you never actually start. The thing with YouTube is that you have to actually start. You have to actually make the videos, and you will get better over time. I think that a really good frame of mind to be in when you are first starting out is to not look at the numbers and to try and make each video better than the last one, like on a technical basis. Try to get better at video editing, get better at your confidence when talking to the camera, get better at script writing, get better at making cool cool in-jokes or adding more personality to your content. Just try and make every single video a little bit better than the one that came before, and you will eventually be in a really good spot with your content. And then once you've made, 10, 20 videos, you can start looking at the numbers and start figuring out what kind of content is working and what's not, and then go from there, adjust as needed. I would say that if a video isn't working out for you, if it didn't perform well initially, it could be from a whole host of things. It could be the editing, it could be the audio, it could be, the thumbnail or the title weren't interesting enough. I wouldn't necessarily discount an entire subject or format of video just because one didn't work very well. You're going to have to try it a couple different ways and a couple different times. Once you have some experience, you can start to think of YouTube as like a scientist would an experiment. You can start thinking about hypotheses and different experiments to try, and just really covering all of the boxes to try literally everything. But at first, you want to make stuff that you're passionate about, stuff that you're interested in, and hopefully you'll, of course, make stuff that you're passionate about and interested in forever for all the videos that you make. I think that, it's just important to have that drive firing you, and everything will fall into place if you are able to do that. But my job, this thing that I do, this whole thing that we have together, this is not the only way that you can become a full-time artist. There are lots of ways that you can make this job work. I've talked about them a lot in other videos. I'll put some in the description or somehow on the screen right now. I would recommend that you figure out what kind of job you want to have, what kind of way you want to make this work for you. Because, I am my own boss here, and that has advantages and that has disadvantages. The disadvantage is that there's no one here to help me manage my time and to tell me what I am doing correctly, authoritatively. I have to figure that out. And I am fully responsible for all of my successes and also fully responsible for all of my failures. And, that's a lot of responsibility to take on. It's a lot of work. If that's not a thing that you're comfortable with, then you should consider a freelance gig or some kind of creative 9-to-5 And there's nothing wrong with that. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I don't know. If you wanted to follow in my same footsteps, this is so long-winded of an answer. I would recommend that you start making videos. That's the answer. Why did I take so long to say that? Okay. Anyway, second question. Liminal Sister 4078 asks, or says, I guess, I always appreciate your transparency about finances. Thank you. Do you have steps to follow or recommendations for getting your life/finances together if you want to be a full-time artist? Yes. I would say that if you are trying to take the plunge and quitting your job, please make sure that you have enough money to actually make that happen. That's, I think, the most important thing. You should have, I don't know, like most optimally about 3 months of living expenses at least saved up before you quit your job. If you're not in that position, I would say that you need to be really, really sure that you can make enough money and to have your bases covered. Art is the kind of job where it's like incredibly seasonal. I make more money on like retail sales the last 3 months of the year than I do, I don't know, the first 3 months of the new year. And if I were to plan my entire business on the performance that I have in December or November, I would be in a really tough spot in like March. So you need to recognize this is very seasonal and you need to plan accordingly with your finances to make sure that you have enough for the rest of the year. So probably saving more heavily in Q4 than you do in Q1 or Q2. As far as other stuff goes, making sure that you have enough money, number one tip, obviously, right? For taxes, I think it's really important that you have a separate bank account for all of your art stuff. You do not want that to be in your personal bank account for a couple of reasons. One, business expenses. The things that you purchase for your business are tax deductible. The camera that you bought for doing YouTube, or the new laptop, or the art supplies that you purchased to make art, or the inventory that you purchased for your online shop. Even if you have like a room in your apartment or your house that you are using as your office, that is tax deductible. Like the price for that square footage, that is tax deductible, at least here in the US. So you want to make sure that that's really clear, that all of your business expenses are very easy to find and in one place. You also want to make sure that it's just like really easy to do your taxes and your accounting at the end of the year. And I find that this is just so much easier for me if it's in a separate bank account altogether. My bank allows me to have like a couple of sub accounts. So I have a place where I can like put money for taxes, put money for savings, and send myself direct deposits to my personal account for like my payroll, basically my paycheck. And I find that to be really, really helpful in terms of finances. If you're looking for like a place to send and receive money and like do things like invoices, I recommend Wingspan. They are a free service for like sending invoices and stuff, and they are expensive if you want to do like payroll and things, but probably that is like not important or relevant to you at all. I would recommend Wingspan for invoices. They are better than PayPal in my opinion, and they take much less of a cut. So that's my suggestion. Yeah, I don't know, just being smart with your money, not taking on any more debt than you have to, of course, and making sure that you have enough and that it's saved and organized and in the right place. Also, paying taxes quarterly to the IRS. Very important. Very, very important. And making sure that you are fully compliant. This is really confusing. All of like the tax stuff is really confusing, at least to me. And what I find is really helpful is like just calling someone and asking questions. People are paid to answer your questions. Like, this is your tax dollars at work. You are, well within your rights to ask questions and get answers to them. And yeah, when you reach a certain point, like where I am at, for example, you probably want to think about hiring someone to do stuff like this for you. It is a little pricey, but it pays for itself. It's worth it. So yeah, I feel like my answers are really long-winded. Maybe this is what you guys want though. I don't know. Hopefully you don't mind. Okay, question number 3. PDX Potato asks, how can you create an artistic brand when there are so many wildly different types of art that you enjoy? So one solution here would be to create a couple of different brands. Another one would be to look at what's working the best for you and to monetize that one while you keep the other ones just personal. That's an option. The third option that maybe you're going to like the best is to really try and find some kind of unifying theme, some kind of thing that ties all of these together. Maybe it's subject matter, maybe it's, your artistic philosophy. Maybe there's something that you can do that kind of ties all of these together. There are a lot of professional artists that do a ton of different things, have their fingers in loads of different pies, and the thing that unifies them is that they were made by one person. If you ask some friends, or even like strangers, go on our Discord and ask to see what people think about all of the different types of art that you make and what binds them together. I think there are a lot of ways that you can make it work. I would recommend that you not brand your business on like a subject matter necessarily, unless you're really sure, or a technique or whatever, and just kind of look into building a personal brand, something that is just you, and go from there. The last question in this category is by the British Bulldog 417. They ask, how do I start making money with my traditional and digital art as an 18-year-old? So listen, you're really young. You have a lot of years ahead of you. I think that rushing into trying to make money right away is a mistake. And what you should really be doing is making sure that your art is good and that you are happy with it. If this means that you, have to work a couple of years at a fast food joint or in retail, that is what it is. I think that you should be in a really strong and proud place with your work before you start to try and monetize it. If you are trying to make money right away, and this is really desperate and urgent for you, art is not going to be like a short-term get-rich-quick kind of thing. Art takes a lot of time to make money from, and it is hard. If you need to make money right away, find a part-time job, do something else. Consider art a very long-term kind of project. My suggestion, at least in the modern era, would be to try and build some kind of an audience or a following, or to develop a really rock-solid portfolio that can get your foot in the door at game studios, animation houses, like all of the different things that employ artists. It's really important if you want to work at a creative 9 to 5 to have a rock solid portfolio. So regardless of what you want to do, I would say that having really good art and being in a really comfortable place as an artist is your number one priority, and by far the best investment that you can make right now as someone who is your age. Yeah, I went to school for something totally unrelated to art, and I don't really use it a ton in my daily life anymore, but I am glad that I had that time because I was able to develop my skills and get my foot in the door and try different things and figure out what was right for me. I would say that, I learned a lot from having jobs that weren't art. I learned a lot from working in tech support and being a TA and doing all those other things that I did before I had this job, and that I felt a lot more comfortable taking risks and taking my time learning and developing my skills because I was making money from something else. Take your time. You have a while. It's okay. So before we get into the rest of the questions for this video, I do want to take a minute and thank the sponsor of the channel, hi Squarespace, because they have been an amazing creative partner this year, and I think that they're the best resource an artist could ask for. So let's talk about Squarespace. Squarespace is an award-winning website platform that allows you to design a beautiful website for selling your art, displaying a portfolio, hosting courses, and even writing a blog. Using their Fluid Engine feature, you can drag and drop images and text and videos and a whole bunch of stuff to your heart's content. I was able to design a website that I'm really proud of in just a few hours. And it's not only pretty to look at, but easy to change when I want to promote a new print collection or my email list or whatever new thing I'm working on. Squarespace makes it really easy to display your work, sell digital or physical products, and really be a hub for everything that you do online. Their plans are affordable, and their customer service is award-winning. You can get 10% off your first order of a website or domain by going to squarespace.com/Kelsey Rodriguez and using code Kelsey Rodriguez at checkout. You could also just click the link in the description. The next category of questions that I want to talk about today are art-related questions. So the first question that I have in this category is by Gemma Sampson Art. What draws you to making art? For me, this is a good question, by the way. For me, the thing that draws me to making art is like the challenge of it. I really enjoy trying new things. I really enjoy pushing myself, and I really enjoy just like the studying aspect of it. I'm a bookworm. I was a teacher's pet in school, and I really enjoy like looking into art history and teasing out themes and learning what I can from the past and developing my skills. Just interpreting reference photos in creative new ways and thinking about like landscape painting and how I can paint like I've always wanted. That's what draws me to making art personally. I wouldn't say that my work has like any political or philosophical undertones in and of itself. If you're looking for that kind of like theme or motivation to my work, I would say that you should probably consider my art these videos, and that would be a little more reflective of like the kind of philosophy that I have as an artist. I feel like that comes way more clearly through in these videos. But yeah, that's kind of what draws me to making art. Heavenly Realm asks, favorite art supplies and how to navigate oil painting as a beginner / someone who's only ever worked in acrylics and watercolor. Oil painting is so much fun. Oil painting is by far my favorite kind of art supply, my favorite medium to work in, etc. My favorite kind of oil paint is this brand called Vasari. I think they're based out of Pennsylvania. Looks like that. Their paints are gorgeous. It's a very kind of historical palette. You're not going to see a ton of vibrant colors or anything. It's pretty muted. Sorry, I dropped it. I would say that that's kind of my favorite specific brand. But yeah, I would say that's it for me. Also, Duralar. I love drawing on Duralar especially. It's my favorite kind of new art material that I've found. Yeah, I don't know. The modern era, man. So many cool inventions. As far as how to navigate oil painting as a beginner, I would say that the cleanup is probably going to be the most intimidating for you. I would recommend that you get your hands on one of these jars. This is a silicoil brush cleaning tank. You might have seen it in some of my content. I use it every so often in like B-roll shots and stuff when I'm cleaning things. There's like a little coil in here. I don't know if you can see it. It's like this guy right there. And it's spiraled on the top, so you use it to clean your brushes that way. I have this filled up with, I have two of these. I have a couple different brush cleaning liquids in here, and this is how I clean my brushes. This is kind of a quick and dirty method of cleaning brushes. You can use soap and water, and that's fine, to be clear. Wipe off your excess paint on a white rag of some kind, and just clean it with soap and water. That works. Yeah, you need to dispose of your rags properly. A bag of rags lasts me for like forever, like years. So I would say that you don't really have to run over to your household toxic waste disposal site in your city, wherever that is, at any reasonable kind of frequency. You can go once a year, maybe once every other year, and it's fine. The cleanup is not that hard. It's not very intimidating. I don't wear gloves, but you can if you want to. I basically never get paint on my hands. This is very rare for me. Other things. I don't know. Just have fun with it. Just have fun with it. Learn how to mix colors. It's like frosting, man. It's so fun. Oil painting is great. More people should try oil painting. It's just seen as like this scary, unapproachable medium, but man, is it so much fun. It moves like butter, dude. It's so good. Sorry, I have been working on oil painting recently, behind me over there. I think you guys saw me start it in my last video. I am so close to finishing it. I'm going to work on it some more after this video is done and probably share that footage in another video. But yeah, so it's a good time. Newer CF6TX asks, what do you think is the best way to improve our skills of oil painting besides practicing? If you want to improve at oil painting, but you don't want to practice, which is kind of confusing, draw. Drawing is for sure the next most important skill to painting, maybe even the most important skill, even if you were trying to become an oil painter. Like, it's like drawing and then oil painting. Drawing is the bedrock foundational skill of all art. It's really important that you learn how to do it. It's important that you learn how to like mass different shapes together, how to aggregate things, how to simplify stuff, how to render things, how to stylize things the way that you want to, how to, I don't know, even just like translate a reference photo onto a surface. This is important. This is a drawing skill. That I think is probably the most important thing. I would say that the only way that I learn or get better at painting is to paint. That is just like the thing. Yeah. Kathy Kimberly 9596 asks your favorite resources for practicing art. I don't know. Practicing art. I would say that the best way that I practice art, or my favorite way, is not by following a book or a tutorial, but to do studies of other artists' work. So this is really common for me to do in like historical artworks. Like I have a whole book of artwork from the 19th and 18th century, and I really love doing studies of those particular artists' work. I've talked about this a ton in other videos. You can hear all of my philosophy on doing studies, master copies, all that jazz, and other content. But yeah, that is, I think, the most high impact thing that I have done to get better as an artist is to just like study painting as painting, forgetting the reference photo and painting with paint as the subject. That is, yeah, that's the highest impact thing that I've done. I think it's just a really important thing to do. It's helped me a lot. It's helped me to, I don't know, figure out how to tackle certain really tricky subjects like grass or foliage or clouds even sometimes. It's really good. It's a really valuable skill. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You have all of human history to look at when it comes to creative work done by mankind, and I think it would be a waste to not learn from that. Yeah, I don't know. That's just me. Amelia Rose Illustration asks, are there any popular art tips that you don't agree with? Yeah, I made a video a couple weeks ago. I think it was like over a month ago now, actually, about why I don't like the advice that you have to draw every day. I think this is a tricky advice. I will leave most of my thoughts on that, which were far better said in my actual video on the topic, so check that out. But I also think that you don't necessarily need a sketchbook if you don't want one. I don't really work in sketchbooks. I have sketchbooks. I have bought into the sketchbook hype. I think that sometimes, I don't know, I just struggle with working in sketchbooks and it's not really for me. And I prefer to do like oil paintings instead as someone who's interested in oil painting. I don't want to work in a sketchbook. So yeah, I don't know. I think that you should take and leave art advice as it suits you, right? This advice is not meant to be like a shackle on your wrist, binding you to a certain way of thinking. It's supposed to be advice. You can take it or leave it. Yeah, I don't know. I try to not feel restricted by stuff that other people say. I try to just follow my intuition and see what works for me. Daniela Ravenous asks, hi Kelsey, do you have any suggestions to manage time, energy, focus, and stay organized to make art while you have another day job? Man, lots of stuff there. I think I've made a couple videos on this. If you search for like time management or productivity on my channel, you might find some stuff to help you. But I think that you have to have a plan. If this means that you have one goal for a day, like I do, or you time block everything, that's cool. But you need to be at the top of your game to make that work, especially if you really want to go full time eventually. Man, it's just a lot of work. I don't know. I did this once upon a time, right? Like I was a full-time college student. I was making these videos once a week and I had like 2 different jobs and coursework and I wrote my thesis when I was making videos for this channel. And I don't know, I look back on that time and I can't imagine juggling all of the things in hindsight. I'm not sure what I was on then and what I lost since, but I just remember being really stressed out and having to manage everything. and being really on top of stuff and just having to have just an ironclad, just like force of will. It's tricky. I sympathize with you. It's a lot of work. Make sure that you are taking time for yourself and that you're not stretching yourself too thin without any good cause to do so. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a ton of suggestions aside from that. Honestly, if you want really good advice, you should check out Ollie Abdal's channel or like any channel about productivity by like a med student. They would probably have amazing advice for you. Okay, the next category that I have for questions for today is YouTube. So as a YouTuber, I get tons of questions about how to do YouTube and what it's like and all that stuff. And I do feel like it is like kind of a responsibility of creators to talk about their experiences and to give advice for people that are, trying to make this work. So Fatal Laughter asks, do you have more tips for small art YouTubers that are stuck and not growing? I talked about this in the very beginning of the video, that it's important to try and improve with every single video. Every single video should be trying to improve something, at least when you're just starting out. I think it's really important to just like consistently level up your skills and try to get better with each new video. Because for me, at least, I try to like identify and preemptively resolve any possible like reason that I could have for not succeeding. So I don't know, like someone told me once that audio is really important. So I tried to do a lot to make my audio better. And I got questions that I said too much or used too many filler words. So I tried my best to make my videos tighter, more tightly scripted. This video is obviously an exception. And to just do more stuff like that. I think that you should be really honest with yourself about the quality of your content, how well it's performing, and to look at it as objectively as possible. Try to not feel so emotionally attached to the content that you're making. Because the algorithm is not some unknowable, mysterious force off in the distance. The algorithm is just like the sum of viewer preferences. If people aren't watching your content, it's not because your content hasn't been found or discovered yet. I mean, maybe that's the reason for some people. Like, it happens. But it could also just be that, like, your content's not good. And people aren't watching it because it's not good. Because your title is, like, something totally random. Or your thumbnail is, like, a picture of your armpit. It could be literally anything. You need to just really ruthlessly go through your content and identify reasons that your videos aren't performing and fix those problems. That's my suggestion. Which is tough because, like, that's not what you want to hear. Right? You don't want to hear that, like, you're the problem, but sometimes you are the problem. And it's important to just be really honest with yourself about how well your content's doing and your consistency or the quality of your audio or, whatever. Because, like, that's the truth. Usually when people aren't succeeding on YouTube, there's, like, a reason, like a tangible reason that you can see and identify in their content. And if you want to learn how to make good content, all that you have to do is just to analyze what content you enjoy or that your viewers, your hypothetical target audience enjoys, and to learn from that, take lessons from it. Try and study their lighting or their scripting or their editing and see how far that gets you. Obviously, put your own personal spin on it, but like that's my honest, clear-cut, just like ruthless advice, to just seek out whatever thing that could be holding you back and to fix that problem. Next question, Holly Perry Art asks, I would love to know your thoughts on different styles of art YouTube channels. I guess what sort of content is necessary to gain a following or performs best? Tutorial, time-lapse, studio vlog, business advice, etc. Or do you think that you need to do a combination of all of them to gain a following? Yeah, so I think that you should make content that you are personally excited about, that you want to see in the world, and that you can bring to fruition, that you can, cause to happen. And that excites you. If that is just business advice, like day in and day out, that's all you want to do that. That's cool. If all that you want to do day in and day out is to make studio vlogs, then do that. Probably the answer is a combination of all of the things that you are interested in that you want to do. I would say that art YouTube If I'm being honest, I'm a little bit tired of art YouTube right now. I want to see new stuff. I want to see new formats. I want to see people doing interesting things. I want to see people just like pushing the boundary of what a studio vlog is, what it could be considered. I think, I don't know, maybe this is not relevant for you, but I think it could be really fun to, I don't know, share more like murals, like street murals, or like short film kind of content on art YouTube. I want to see like all of the different stuff. I think more variety is necessary. If I'm being honest, I think that a lot of studio vlogs just like are kind of the same video. It's like plants, cat, art, organizing, baking, more art, more plants. And like, that's cool. Like, I'm guilty of this. That's me. But like, I want to see different lifestyles. I want to see different aesthetics. I think that you should really just like indulge yourself, make the stuff that you want to see. And there's a really good chance that other people out there want to see that same stuff too. In terms of what works well, I do think that some variety is good. More variety just means that like more people have the opportunity to find you spontaneously when they are searching different things or watching different videos, etc. I also think that there's a good chance that the video that you're the best at might not be like the first video idea that comes to mind for you. The first videos that I made were not business advice stuff. I kind of fell into this niche, and I guess I'm just, I don't know, making it up as I go along, basically, in terms of like my overall strategy. But I made one video like this, and then I made a second one, and then I made a third one, and now here I am, right? This is a thing that I discovered by experimentation, by variety, having a bunch of different stuff. And I think that that's really important. You're just going to be throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. Yeah. As far as like overall channel health, I guess I do have to admit that channels that have more variety on them, I am more interested in. Sometimes if a creator just makes vlogs, I do get a little burnt out, especially if they have the problem that I was talking about earlier where they all feel the same. I think it's really important to have a little bit of variety or something, even if you are making the same kind of video over and over again. Just make it feel a little bit different. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a tough question to answer. Every channel is different, and every creator is different. Every audience is different. It's just, I don't know. It's tough. You're just gonna try stuff. That's my suggestion. Just try stuff. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of all that I wanted to talk about today. This is a very chatty, relaxed, off-the-cuff video. None of this was scripted. I just pulled these questions off of the community post that I posted a little while ago, and here we are. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. And yeah, that's all from me. I will see you guys in the new year. Bye.